Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3 and hello fellows, Hirogon here. It's been a while since we've done any sort of fun log. I know we got off of the catching up phase again. Hopefully that can maintain a consistency. So today is Thursday, December 22nd, 2022. Today is my friend Kilomatter's birthday, and I drew this little art here in Krita for him of his original character, Milo. So if he's watching this, happy birthday, Kilomatter. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's get into the updates for the Fun Log Friday stuff, which will involve the fighting game, which is probably going to be a staple for many years to come, and of course the 2D side-scroller demo I've got around, known as Path of Yao, a small little demo I've created. Now, going into the fighting game itself, the stuff around is easy enough. All too easy, I'd say. The biggest changes we've got around include startup, active, and recovery frames. With all that, we can have ourselves commands showing off whatever frames they've got for each animation, which is not unlike that of Mortal Kombat 11 or even Fantasy Strike. Now, in Xcode, the stuff is easy enough. We've got a blueprint implementable event called Gather Command Data from Table Integer Command Index, and a few new variables known as last startup, last active, and last recovery frames respectively, all including the frames at the end. Very important to differentiate. In the character.cpp, in start command, we have the gather command data from table function right here. Current command being the stuff that should be used. Then going up to our default values, we've set last startup, active, and recovery frames all to 0, as they are integers rather than the floats that last damage received is. And with that, that's about it for the code part, C++. Going into the blueprint is easy enough. We've got ourselves a custom event, get frame data from table, and we get data table columns from here, Atom Mortem command data, and we've got ourselves the startup, active, and recovery frames. And then we have set these values as using last startup frames, active, and recovery as the setting too. In Atom Mortem BP itself, if you want to use a specific data table to reference, then you have yourself this right here, event gather command data from table, which is what we use. It's pretty easy enough to have around. In the animations itself, if you want to set the values of startup, active, and recovery frames, then take a good look at the anim notifies and where they're placed. In particular, if you've got yourself in animations around frame 6, frame 14, and frame 47, then the active part would be from frames 14 through 47 in this case 33 frames. From attack 1 startup to active would be from frame 6 to frame 14, which is a little bit of 8, or rather possibly 14 frames, since startup is from when the move starts up to when it goes active. And finally, attack 1 ended is frame 47 to the final frame of the animation. So 3 frames in this case. Now you can adapt easily yourself, but for now I'm going to leave things as it is. I can easily update them later on. And now let's get into the game itself. Do note that if you want to see the frame data stuff, oh, I almost forgot about the frame data panel. You will need to go into that part and create bindings for these. In this case, they're pretty easy enough, same as the get stun frames. You use get game mode reference. If it's valid, we return the node, and then a select for if is widget for P1 is true, then we use player 1 as a reference till last stun frames received, and that goes to text integer. Now into the game itself, we should be using the practice mode to show off this particular work. Now, we always choose Adam Mortem, or rather I do, since he's the most fleshed out I've got. Go up to our character, then press any sort of button, light punch, and we've got 5 damage and 8 stun frames on this character when we do that attack, 8 start frames, 32 active frames, and 5 recovery frames for this particular player 1 character. And if you notice, the startup, active, and recovery frames can change depending on what move you use. For instance, Light Kick has 2, 5, and 4 as startup, active, and recovery frames respectively, and for Heavy Punch, no values just yet. And with that, I'm not sure whether I should say this, but that's about all I've done for this past week. And with that, we shall now go into Path of Yao, which has gotten a few updates, as small of a demo as updates can get for that. I've actually been doing a few particular animation work here, with the biggest being actually the most current one that I'm trying to work on is the animation for death. It's a little bit slow, but that's kind of what you get when you have 2 projects open at the same time. Not exactly feeling good to have an iMac around, but at least this gets the job done. Now, let's go into Path of Yao, and I'll show you some of the animation work that has been done. We've got ourselves our player character in idle animation. Not exactly the best, but at least it'll do for a small demo that I hope to at least get out by my birthday in March. Then we have our punch animation for this. Running, which is pretty much the same both sides no matter what. Looks a little like Sonic, don't you think? Yes, I'm a Sonic fan. Deal with it. Then jumping, which has 3 parts actually. A jump start, then jump loop, and jump end. Now, that's probably self-explanatory. Then for our ninja, we've got ourselves a running and idle animations for them. If you notice now, our ninja has put us into the death animation. Unfortunately, I have no such death animations right now, so there's not much logic going into this. And with that, there's still a long ways to go for Path of Yao to even be finished as a demo in time for my birthday, but one can hope. If anyone notices that it's called Martial Arts Madness, well, that was the original name of Path of Yao before I changed that. So a little bit of what could have been for you. That being said, credit again goes to Sean the Bro for all his work, and to my friend Kilmatter, I want to wish him a happy birthday. I hope his family's doing fine. And with all that, I've been Hirogon, you've been you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. And I hope you have a nice day, everyone. Goodbye, guys, and happy holidays.